All right, a couple of things. We've been so busy, the draft, the NBA playoffs last night, and all the NBA stuff going on. A few other little pieces to get to today. You know, every once in a while we like to have our fun with baseball injuries.
Yes, we do.
And look, like all other athletes, baseball players, they play 162 games in basically 180 days. To question their toughness is really not fair. But they do sometimes have injuries that just make you laugh.
We've gone down time and time again on this show the litany of injuries that have cost baseball players time on the field.
Now, there's nothing at all funny about Matt Cain missing a significant portion of his season because he has a problem with his pitching hand.
Right.
Which obviously your hand, your fingers, all of that is critical to a pitcher.
Right.
But yesterday, when it was explained, when he finally explained what it was that happened, because we had heard that he had injured himself making a sandwich.
But he wanted to set the record straight.
He wanted to clear up that it was not making the sandwich. He actually successfully made a ham and cheese sandwich. The reason that he got injured was that it was in the cutting up of the ham and cheese sandwich. He wanted to cut the ham and cheese sandwich into a variety of, what was the word, decorative?
I went to cut it to make it fancy in triangles.
He wanted fancy triangles.
Yeah.
And he cut himself. He dropped the knife and tried to catch it. Now, this is not the most complicated thing in the world to do. Don't catch a knife in the air.
You know what? It's one of those you aren't thinking. You drop it. When it falls, so boom, you just reach. Instinctively, you kind of reach your hand out. It cut his finger, and now he's on the DL for the second time in his career.
I guess. But there's just something about a baseball player missing time because he hurt himself.
Yeah.
Making a ham and cheese sandwich.
Exactly. And the thing about this injury, Greeny, it's a professional athlete, and he's going to have to miss time for it. But everybody out there, I'm sure there are some people listening that would say, yeah, you know what? I could see myself, if I'm trying to cut my sandwich into cute triangles, if I happen to drop the knife, I'm going to instinctively reach for it and may end up injured. So I think there are a lot of people in America who could actually associate with this and say, okay, that might happen to me. In this case, it happened to a professional athlete. He's going to have to miss some games.
So that's what happened to a baseball player.
That said, you will absolutely not be able to envision this happening to yourself out there.
No, let's juxtapose that with this story.
This is amazing. Nicholas Hjalmarsson, a defenseman for the Blackhawks, on Sunday in their game against Minnesota. He was, and you see these defensive players doing it at times, and they're nuts. You know, when someone's getting ready to take a shot, sometimes they just hit the ground, so the puck can hit them. But that's just a comment I wanted to make because I think they're crazy, but yet they do it. So what Hjalmarsson did was he took a puck on a shot to the throat.
Puck to the throat.
So now, as I said, everyone can imagine cutting their cute little sandwich, dropping their knife, and instinctively reaching for it. I don't imagine many people out there can say, oh, yeah, I remember when I took that puck to the throat. Okay? So he took a puck to the throat. And when he took a puck to the throat, he skated off the ice slowly and did not miss a shift. So he didn't miss any time in that game. So fast forward to yesterday morning in the skate-around before the game they lost last night. In the skate-around, he's there. He's skating around, and then you're supposed to talk to the media? Well, he didn't talk to the media. Not because he didn't want to talk to the media, but because where and how the puck hit him in the throat, he can't talk. He physically can't speak at this point.
He is physically unable to speak for 2 weeks.
He can't speak, yet he will not miss 1 second of time.
He did not miss a shift. He will not miss a game.
He didn't miss any last night. One of his defensive partner calls him the Swedish Viking, and that same guy actually said, I was more worried he got hit in the eye or something like that. I didn't see what happened. And then I'm sure, he only got hit in the throat.
Yeah.
He's okay.
Yeah.
Are you kidding me?
Let me ask you a question. Seriously, you're a tough guy.
Yeah.
And you played a tough sport. Yeah. There's a fine line between toughness and insanity.
Okay.
Which side of this is that?
Here's what I'll say. Because I'm not, listen, I've talked about this. This is kind of the way my dad raised us and kind of the way I raised my kids, to be somewhat tough. If I had played hockey all my life, all right, and got up to that point, that position, I would imagine if I'm a defenseman, I would have been one of those guys sprawling on the ice, taking a puck to wherever to try and stop it. That's what you do. That's what you do.
Right.
That's one of the things you do. So I can I really think I can say if hockey was my sport and I made it to the NHL and I was a defenseman, I would probably put myself in that situation. But I'm not. I can't skate. I can't play hockey. And I watch these guys, and while I've said basketball players I think are the best athletes in the world, I think hockey players are the toughest athletes in the world. And I don't mean to say others aren't tough. What I'm saying is I think they're the toughest. They're nuts. They straddle or go over the line to insanity way more, I think, than anybody else. You see guys get teeth knocked out of their they don't miss anything. Jeremy Roenick, when he was at the Coyotes and I was there, his nerve endings were dangling in his mouth. He went out and picked up his own teeth while still playing. These guys, you don't get specific injuries. You get upper body injury and lower injury, and God knows how serious it could be, but they just keep playing. They're nuts. I'm so impressed with how tough they are. And this is one, a puck to the throat. He physically can't speak, but didn't miss any time. And Matt Cain caught a knife. So, and again, we get
it's just funnier. He was making a ham and cheese sandwich. It's funnier. Catching the knife is a legitimate injury. When you just say he hurt himself making a ham and cheese sandwich, it just plays funnier.
It just does.
It may not be fair, but it's funny.